Now arriving at Thomastown.
This Thomo Life is proudly brought to you by Yarra Plenty Regional Libraries, Thomastown Branch. So welcome to the podcast, This Thomo Life, where we tell your Thomastown stories from people who live, work and or play here. From Queensland to Thomastown, Oreste Pompetti Pastor is doing great work in the area.
Okay, I was in Queensland until I was about 20 years of age, up till about 1989. And then I moved down to Melbourne early in 89 and have been there ever since. Been here ever since. Okay, since I've been in Melbourne, I've started off working in what was a state bank, then became the Commonwealth Bank, and then I moved into some work in the transport industry, working with McPhee Transport, which then became part of TNT. I've also worked in higher education, in finance administration in university, in La Trobe University. I've worked in a lot of not-for-profits in early intervention, and most recently, say maybe the last 6 or 7 years, as a pastor of a local church in the Thomastown area, and also currently working for a community development organisation known as Urban Seed, and I'll be shortly doing some work with Urban Seed in the Thomastown Lalor area.
It has always intrigued me why people end up doing what they do for work. Oreste has been in a range of jobs. What leads him to becoming a pastor?
Okay, well, I guess when I moved down to Melbourne, I didn't plan any of this, but when I moved down to Melbourne, I was just asking a lot of questions about life, purpose, things of that nature, just through a lot of things that happened in life where things weren't working out according to plan. So I came to a place where I came to an active faith in Jesus Christ, and one thing led to another. I just had a sense, I guess, of calling. That's probably the easiest way to put it. That's what I felt God was calling me to do, to be a minister. That's a simple way to put it.
I hear that theme again, pride of place.
I love the area. I mean, as I say, for most of my time in Melbourne, I've lived in this area, in and around this area. I love the community, the different communities that are part of this overall community. And obviously, my name, you may have worked out from my name, I have an Italian background, so obviously that's a large part, or a significant part of the history of this area, but there are other communities as well. There's the Greek community, Macedonian community, and if you go back far enough, the German community in the mid-1800s. Now we also have our Indian, Asian communities, people from various parts of Africa and the Middle East, and I just love the multicultural nature of this place, the food, just the earthiness and authenticity of this area. I just feel at home in this place. It's home. Look, I love the people. I guess this is my neighbourhood. This is where I live, and one of the things I really enjoy doing is just listening to people, listening to their stories, finding out about them, how they came to be in Australia, in Melbourne, in Thomastown, in this area, and I just find as you listen and just connect with people, you just really come to like people. You actually come to love them and appreciate them, and you learn a lot. And it's hard to put into words, but there's just a sense that this is home. It's not just about me. And just that sense of welcome. And sometimes we hear things in the news, in the media, where we hear some bad stories, but my sense overall is that there are good stories, and there are a lot of positive things going on, and I really like that. I just feel that's a great thing, and I see that in this community. Obviously, there's things that we need to try and work harder at and to do better at, and that's me as well as others. But I feel really positive about what's going on, and love being a part of it, joining in with others.
On how Oreste sees his role in the community.
Being active in the community as a participant. I mean, some may say I'm a community leader, and that's fair enough, but I see myself as an equal with others, just coming into this neighbourhood, being a part of it, living here, working here, playing here, and coming in alongside people to listen, hear people's stories, and I guess really try and imagine and dream together as what we might do together, what opportunities there might be for us as a community. So this is not about me coming in with a whole bunch of ideas and things we can do. I might have a lot of ideas, but there's other people out there that have a lot of ideas, and how those ideas connect and emerge into something that could be, just a great thing to do in the community for the ones that are involved. So that's how I see my role, I guess, as someone that's keen to encourage others, to encourage them in their dreams, and also be encouraged by others in my dreams, and coming together. That's how I see myself, I guess, at work in this community. But not just at work, I guess, participating with others in life, and for anyone that wants to do that, and I find there are people like that. It's just looking out, listening, and being a part of different things in our community, like Thomastown Neighbourhood House, things going on here at the Thomastown Library, lots of opportunities to volunteer in different places in this community. And when you make the time to do that, it's amazing what you find. And I guess in the role that I have with Urban Seed in Thomastown, Lalor, I'll have opportunity to do that more than I've been able to do before. So I'm very excited about that.
Community, what is it? My idea is leaning on people, supporting each other, like dominoes that fall onto each other. The problem with that philosophy is, who does the last domino lean on?
It is being able to lean on people for support, help and encouragement, because we all need that. I think there are times when we are stronger, we feel that we're in a stronger place, and there are times when we feel in a weaker place, and maybe every shade of grey in between. And I know I've felt in those positions of being stronger and weaker, and sometimes I just can't get up in the morning, can't be bothered. So I think as I understand that and reflect on that, I think community is a place where you are able to be yourself. Now, obviously, we can't do this with everyone. Trust is a key part of it. So I think trust is a key part of community, and being able to, like I say, being able to lean on people, being able to make yourself vulnerable to others, and realising that if you're in a position where you're able to give and come alongside someone and let them lean on you to do that, to be that person, because there'll be times when the people that have leaned on me, I'm going to need to lean on them, not in a way of, not in terms of taking advantage of them, just purely because we're friends, we're companions, we're humans together in this community. So I see that as central to community, and I really believe overall there's not that person at the end who'll have to bear it all and topple. I think there's a sense that at any one point in time there'll be enough to go around in terms of support, and that you won't always be in a place where you always have to lean on others. There'll be a sense that there's that giving and taking, and that sharing. I think sharing is a large part of it. Being generous with your time, with the skills that you have in sharing them with others, sometimes being generous with your money too. I think I've also found people who would say they've had to lean on me in those times when that's happened. I've learned a lot from them. So they've actually given me something when they probably thought they've probably been draining me. That's what they might think, but I've actually haven't seen it that way. So there's a sense here, if we're humble about it, we there's a mutual exchange. We all grow and learn and benefit. It's just a wonderful thing that happens in giving your time, volunteering. These are just the texture and the fabric of what community is. Look, people do come to me. I have many people come to me that would never go into a church building, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. I have people that when I speak to them about what I do, in terms of my role as a pastor, is that they open up and talk. Not everybody. Some want to run the other way, and I can understand why that might be the case. I fully respect that and can empathise, because there probably would have been a day when I would have run away as well if I had come across a minister or a priest or someone. But I find people open up and they confide in me about life and what's going on for them. And I think one of the, whether it's a problem or it's certainly an issue, is that people often don't feel heard or listened to. But with what's going on for them, there's no one to listen, no one to just listen to them and help, not even help them, but just for them to be able to process what they're going through, just have a listening ear. So this can be from someone that's maybe doing really well in life outwardly. So not just people who we would just typically say, they're struggling. This is common to all people, irrespective of what their level of income is or who they are or what job they've got. So not being listened to, I think, is probably fundamentally one of the biggest issues.
Probably another key element of community is conversation, the chat. If you can't have that conversation or chat with someone, you'll never know what they're like, how they interact, what they need. Conversation.
Absolutely, and I love conversation. I think, I think inherently humans do. As humans, we like that. I think some of us, for different reasons, maybe different things have happened in the past, we might struggle with conversation. We might feel I can't open up because people won't like me if they see who I am, if they find out who I am, or they might reject me. And I think there's some real concerns there that we've got to be honest about. Sometimes we have to learn how to have conversations. And I think the biggest thing I've found in my role as a pastor and just in general in everyday life is to learn to be a better listener, but to encourage others to be good listeners, because as I often say, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let's do a lot of listening. Let's be quick to listen, slow to judge, quick to listen, slow to speak. And that, being able to cultivate that kind of a space and environment fosters this atmosphere of conversation where you get to hear people's story, they get to be listened to and affirmed. We don't necessarily have to agree with everything someone says. I mean, we all have different views, different beliefs, and that's quite okay. But tolerance is about, I can hear your story, Dean, you can hear mine, and there's going to be a respect for one another. And because, life might be tough for you, it might be tough for me. Or others might not think my life is tough, but I still like to be listened to. I still like people to give me some time, give me some of your time.